Hello YouTube family, welcome to Veteran Hands. Today we're going to be doing our first unboxing video. It's a very special unboxing video because when I started this channel with a purpose. I'm using my welding journey to learn how to weld as part of that, my therapy. And with that, I reached out to YesWelder. I told them what I was doing. I had one video up of me making a Mother's Day gift, and they replied back and they said, we would love to sponsor you with a machine. And this is the machine they sent. They sent me the MIG 205 DS Pro. This is a multi-process machine. It's 5-in-1. It does gasless MIG, lift TIG, stick, and spool gun MIG. It doesn't come with the spool gun for the spool gun MIG, but eventually we'll get one and we'll try that out on the channel. I'm very excited about this. We're gonna go ahead and start unboxing it and see what we got. So, first off, I can say it has a good weight to it, but it's not super heavy. I'm planning on doing some jobs as I start out and get a little bit better. I got a couple jobs already lined up that I'll be doing, and with that I'll be gonna transport it. I'm gonna start out doing flux core MIG. I think I'm gonna start out with the 035 more than likely, but more to come on that one. The next video we'll actually go through the setup, and then we'll go through the use and me using stick and flux core MIG. I do have a bottle coming for 75-25 gas. Once I get that bottle in, I'll be setting that up and then I'll be doing it that way too. So eventually I'll be using all the processes on it, but right now we're gonna start out with just what I have the resources for. All right, so as I open it, there's one box right here that seems to have all the components. We're probably gonna have the stinger, the gas hose and such. I'll get that open in a second. And then we have the machine here. It's got a nice little handle. So here's the machine. We'll get this out of here. Throw that over there. Boom, look at that. So, as you can see, the machine is pretty sharp looking machine. It's got really sleek lines on it. It's black, it's got some red. I love the red with the YesWelder. So it looks good and it feels pretty solid. I know it's got a lot of plastic components like the handle, but it doesn't feel like it's cheap in any way. You got the hookups down here. You do have for the polarity, you have your black and your red, so you can reverse it as needed. I know that there's, depending on what function you're doing, you'll have to have different settings for the polarity. I haven't got into the manual yet, but when I do, I'll definitely talk about that. Looks like we have your standard door here. So we open that up and that's where the spool goes. That's where the feeder goes. Everything looks pretty solid here. Everything's set up for you to go ahead and start. So I'm pretty excited. I'll be doing that on the next video. And let's see. So once we get into the connections, this is the 220 plug right here. And my assumption is as we get into this box right here, we'll have the 220 to 120 step down, or 110 step down, which is actually really cool because I'm going to be doing 110. And that will be actually really cool. We have both capabilities depending on where I'm at and what I'm welding. So let's see here with this. Yeah, there we go right there. So this inside here, you're going to have the MIG gun. We have 4 MIG gun tips, and my understanding is it's going to be different tips based on the different filling material you're using in different sizes. Like I said, I'll be starting out with 035. You got your power adapter cord, okay, so that would be the step down for the 110. Electrode holders, or your stinger for your stick welding. You got your work clamp, so that's your grounding clamp. You got your gas hose. You have an 08 and 09 wire feed roller. You have an 09 and 1.2 wire feed roller and a 0.6 and 0.8 wire feed roller. So you have your different ones. The cool thing that I really like, and this is something that I was actually pretty shocked, was it comes with a graphing MIG wire feed liner, and what that does is that's what allows you to do the lift TIG. So even though it's a MIG machine, at heart, it has the lift TIG features that we can do. So I'm excited because that means I'll be able to do some welding with aluminum and stainless steel. And it's something I've never done before, but I'm gonna experiment with it. So as we go through here, This is your gas tube, so when I get that gas bottle, I can hook it up. Before I get that, I'll be doing the flux core welding. This is your power adapter, so this is where this is what I'll be using a lot of, since I'll be doing 110. And we'll set that aside. And here is going to be my baby for a while, and that's going to be the actual MIG gun. I was very excited about this. I've actually done some research on it, and I use a Miller right now. I use a Miller welding machine at the Veteran Resource Center. It's a very nice machine, but with that being said, this thing is hard to get out of the package. Good Lord. Okay, so right here, this is what I really want. I wanted to feel this because it's got a ball joint, and then it's got the spring tensioner to keep it from, to reduce all the wear here. So that's actually really cool. Like, I'm actually super stoked about that, and that's something I was really excited about. It's got your standard copper tip on it. So you got your different tips here, and then your sleeve. They screw on, and it feels really good. I'm not gonna lie, this is something I was really, really excited, but it feels really, really good. Like, it's got a good feel to it. I know it's got options, and we'll set that up on our next video for 2T and 4T. So if you're doing a long weld, you can do the 4T where you click it and it just starts running until you click it again to turn it off. I never have used that feature. We have that feature on the machines I use regularly in class, but I normally just do the 2T because I'm just used to controlling the wire feed as I'm going through. So the cable, it feels good. It's got a good sturdy feel to it, and it's 10 foot long, so that's pretty cool. I can get all around a piece of my different small welding tables I have, so I'll be able to do a lot with that. As we move in, here is our graphene liner. So this is what we'll do when we start doing aluminum lift TIG. We'll be using this to, we'll be installing this inside here to do the aluminum and lift TIG. Then we move over here. This is our grounding clamp and our stinger. Does not have a zip lock on this one. So that being said, I'll just rip that sucker open. All right, so there's our grounding clamp, and it is actually got some weight to it. Pretty impressed with that. I mean, it's got a lot of, it doesn't feel flimsy. If you've seen my previous video of the handheld Temu welder, it was like really flimsy. Felt like one of those little alligator clips you got at the carnival when you're a kid that had a little feather on it. No, this actually feels like feel like I'm working out with it. Right, like the hand grip. So it's got some good spring tension to it. And then let's see what our stinger. So this is our stinger for our stick. Oh yeah, that's pretty solid. It is plastic, but it doesn't feel bad. I'm not used to this style. I'm used to the kind that you twist to take your electrode out, but no, this doesn't feel, even though it's plastic, it's got a lot of good weight to it, and it feels pretty solid. So in this, in my understanding, these are both 10-foot cables as well. So that's your main components. As we get in here, we do have some of the full, whatchamacallits. So yeah, gonna be editing that sucker out. You have your manual here, and I love manuals, and I don't know why. This is something that's really, really important to me. I love manuals that are for the machine only. This doesn't say it's for the MIG 205 DS Pro and the MIG 2 blah 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 and the MIG that and the MIG that. And if you have this one, go to this page. You don't have to have an algorithm to figure out what pages to read, and that's pretty cool to me. So kudos to YesWelder on that one. We do have a settings chart here, which that's pretty awesome. It does have a synergetic option on it. So if you set up the synergetic, it automatically, depending on what you choose, will choose your wire feed and your amperage. But that being said, the fact that you have a breakdown of it here, it has everything from what material you're using: carbon steel, stainless steel, aluminum, lift TIG, stick, MIG. So that's actually pretty cool. It has all your different settings depending on your gauges. yeah, pretty awesome. And then one more thing I do want to check on this thing, which I didn't show earlier when I had the actual machine itself, is on the back of the machine. It talks about the duty cycle. So it does have duty cycle information right here, whether you're on 110 or 220. So at 60% and 100%, it has what your duty cycle would be. That would be the X up here on each one of these different options. I need to learn a lot more about the duty cycle. That's why it's exciting to me, because I'm very amateur with this. Like I said before, I'm a novice, and that's something I'm learning, because with your duty cycle, you can use it for so much, and then you need to let it cool off for so much. So duty cycle is something that when I do get into doing this more regularly, which I plan on doing starting tomorrow, the day before Father's Day. And so happy Father's Day to me, right? Like, this is awesome. Like this great present for the channel. We get some real welding done in my garage. So yeah, pretty excited. But yeah, that is the YesWelder MIG 205 DS Pro unboxing. I'm excited to start with this tomorrow. I probably won't sleep tonight. I appreciate every single one of you. And like I said before, if you know anyone that's suffering or doesn't know the resources, or even if it's someone that doesn't know how to get their disability, if you know a vet that's been in, you go into the military as 100% individual. I don't care if you're in for 2 years, I don't care if you're in for 20 years. You don't come out as 100% individual. Whether it's damage to your joints or whatever from doing all the PT, mental damage from anything that you've seen, losing friends, anything. There's a lot of different reasons, but not one person I've ever met that's been in the military has come out 100% individual. A lot less than 100% usually. So if you know anyone and they need assistance, like I said, I'm not an expert in any way, shape, or form, but I will do everything in my power. I have a passion for it. I feel I have a calling for it, and I really want to help people that don't have any other options. There's actually a lot of resources at the VA that most people aren't aware of, and had I known what I know now when I first started, it wouldn't have been a 6-year journey. I could have done everything at the very beginning and started my benefits a lot sooner. Thank you very much. I appreciate every one of you. Please like, subscribe, and share. Support the cause. It matters. Thank you.